Welcome, everyone. We're here today with BOW Live, Brokers, Opens, and Tours Worldwide, and Florida Closing and Escrow. Today, we have one of our expert real estate attorneys, Anthony Bauza, going to present on condo rules and special assessments. And then at the end, I will include some market updates and marketing tools and tips. So, Anthony, welcome.
Hi, thank you. So today I wanted to quickly talk about the condominium rider to the contract with an emphasis on condominium special assessments. It's one of the most frequently asked questions we get about, and also something that comes up obviously with so many condominiums here in South Florida. The first thing I would like to point out is, as far as condominium special assessments, we can find that on the condominium rider. Many people get confused and they think that on the as-is contract, there's this section on page 4, line 188, that's called special assessments. However, this does not refer to condominium special assessments. It even says that in that section. It specifically says it doesn't refer to condominium special assessments. Instead, it refers to public body special assessments. These are assessments that you would normally find on your property tax bill. Sometimes it's for lighting districts. Sometimes it's for waste and trash removal or landscaping. So where can we actually find it? That would be on the condo rider. Now, the condo rider has 3 pages. The first page is fairly straightforward. You can fill out whether association approval of the buyer is required, whether the association has the right of first refusal. Then on the bottom, there's a section to include the amounts that are due and how frequently they're paid. If we turn to section C, which is on the next page, that's where we'll find special assessments for condominium. That first section of section C, section C1, there's a blank space to fill in any special assessment that is currently pending. Now, this pending is kind of the key part. And the question is, what does pending actually mean? The good thing is that the section actually defines it for us. It says that pending is any special or other assessment that has either been levied, meaning it's been approved by the association, or that has been on the agenda or in the minutes of the meetings of the association within the past 12 months before the effective date of the contract. In the section below that, then you'll see the boxes to check whether the buyer is going to take over the special assessments or if the seller shall pay them in full after closing. But the very important thing to note here, and this is where the source of much confusion to agents, buyers, and sellers comes from, is that this selection that you're making only applies to what you are filling in the blank in the section above. So if you do not fill in that section with the actual pending special assessment that's existing, then that section does not apply, because the very next section says that anything that's not listed in that blank line, the seller has to pay it. So it's very important that if the seller wants the buyer to take it over, that we make sure that we fill that in. And because the definition of pending is so broad, it means anything that's even been discussed in a meeting and is on the agenda within the past 12 months. Our advice, especially if you represent a seller or you are a seller yourself, is reach out to your association. I know it's hard to keep up with meetings and to keep up with, you know, the going-ons of the association, but reach out to them, let them know you're planning on selling. Regardless, you would have to reach out to them anyways to get the condominium documents for the buyer also, and request a copy of the minutes of the meetings. As an owner, you're entitled to this, and look through it. Make sure that if there's any assessment that's mentioned, then that's the assessment that you will fill in that blank if you want the buyer to take it over, and you check off the box that says buyer. On that same topic of condominium documents, We also recommend for buyers, if you represent a buyer, if you're a buyer yourself, make sure that you mark that section that says you request for the documents, for the condominium documents to be received. This is section 5B, and it's important because it gives the buyer the option to void, essentially cancel the contract within 3 days of receiving those documents. This is just in case, you know, they look over the documents and they see there's something that they don't like. Sometimes there's restrictions as far as renting, or other restrictions that a buyer may not agree with, that they obviously can only find out through these condominium docs. And then the buyer is entitled then to be able to cancel. So definitely check that box to make sure that the buyer gets that right to do that. And likewise, on the third page in section 6, you should mark that the buyer is specifically requesting these documents from the seller. And then tied along with that is the next section, number 7. But this is only to be completed once the buyer receives the docs. You basically fill it in and you write the date. So don't fill in that section until the buyer has actually received the documents, because the 3 days will begin on that date, which is the date that you're stating that you have received all the documents. To finally wrap up that last section of the condo rider, section 8 refers to any parking spaces, any garages or storage that may be included in the sale. It's important to fill this in to make sure that gets assigned at closing. And it is important to put the number. A lot of people just put 2, for example, if they mean 2 spaces are included, but what we actually need there is the actual number. So the number of those 2 spaces, if let's say the spaces are 101 and 102, you would put 101 and 102, not 2, meaning that there's 2 spaces. Other than that, those are the points that I really like to emphasize as far as the condo writer goes. Those are just a few tips. And as always, if you have any other questions, you can reach out to either myself or to John here at Florida Closing and Escrow, and we can answer any other questions you may have about not only the condo writer, but the contract itself or any other additional addendum.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Anthony. And again, if you need any assistance, John Iowano and Anthony Bauza and our experienced staff is here to help. And the staff and all are multilingual, and they conduct closings in any location, of course, in the office, and during COVID, even curbside, and any location is needed for foreign nationals or out-of-state buyers, and we can help you structure that. We help structure deals to close, from contract to closing, and we're digital, wireless, mobile, and remote. 1-800-FL-CLOSE. And I am Cindy Mirapol with BOW, and I can assist you with your virtual opens, live stream opens, and tours, and more. So contact us. Our goal is your success. And we're here to assist you, even first-time buyers, sellers, buyers, investors, foreign nationals, commercial and residential properties. And I'd also wanted to give a brief market update. As you know, the interest rates increased again, 0.75 percentage points. Actually, though, it has led to some stabilization of the market. Annual inflation accelerated to 8.5% in March, and the 30-year fixed mortgage increased greater than 5%. However, even though the overall economic assessment is negative, Real Estate Witch had a survey that said over 90% of millennials would buy a home sight unseen, and 43% of millennials officially are homeowners. So there's a great target market. And as you know, there's a lot of people still fleeing New York, California, Connecticut, the high tax states, and also Florida has the great weather and many benefits. So many people are still continuing to migrate here. Some of the hottest sales recently are a tech founder of InterSystems, purchased a home for $93 million. 3 lots together, waterfront homes on Miami Beach, parceled together as one. And that price is now a new record for Golden Beach and Miami. Moshe Mana sold his North Miami Beach office for $20 million. Shari Aronson sold her Bal Harbor home for $41.5 million. A Miami Beach home sold for $28 million, more than doubled its value. It last sold for $12 million in 2020. And it sold for $33.3 million over its asking price. Also, general demand is relatively high and inventory is relatively low, though most have improved in recent months. Home prices are expected to increase, but not the 20% increase of last year. And the market still does favor sellers, but there's not the same bidding wars. So the good news is the market ahead will be more balanced. So good projections ahead, and locally and in Florida, we are still booming. The market's on fire, and we're here to help you structure and close your deals. And Florida Closing and Escrow main office is in Sunny Isles, and there's other locations in addition, and they are mobile as well. And I'm here to help you to promote yourself, your listings through digital marketing, virtual opens and tours, and more. So you can reach me at 786-457-6832, and we look forward to assisting you to close more deals. Thank you for joining us today, and see you next time. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you, Anthony.
Welcome.